Hello everyone and welcome! This is Marika and I'm here to make this video tutorial for Altenew. Today I'm gonna make this card here featuring the moon set, and I'm gonna show you how you can make this white moon with light halo around it. I'm also gonna use painted butterfly set, and the sentiment is from Fresh Freesia set. I made this front panel of screen. For the moon, I used a solid image and then the second layer of the moon. I had a little trouble filming and some parts of the footage are missing. I'm so sorry for that, but I didn't have time to refilm this. I stamped the moon with 2 different shades of grey dye inks. I don't know if this step is necessary, but I used my heat gun to make sure that the inks are totally dry before I heat emboss the next layer. I wanted to gain this very light look for the third layer, so I used Versamark ink to stamp the third layer and then heat emboss it with clear embossing powder. This way you are able to gain this really light tone-on-tone look, and that makes the moon look more realistic. Although at this point the moon looks quite grey, when I apply the dark blue around it, it will look more white. And since I will be using distress inks to make the blue sky around the moon, I want to make sure that there is none of the clear embossing powder left outside of the moon. I wipe it off with a dry baby wipe and then I heat set the moon until the powder is totally melted. I cut a mask for the moon out of masking paper. You want to be very precise when you place the mask on top of the moon. If it goes just a tiny bit off the moon, the white gap will show quite clearly after inking up the sky around it. And at least for the uptight mind of mine, it surely would be a problem. I apologize again, I really fought with my video camera while filming this, and this footage is from a different card since the whole inking part was missing. But the technique and the ink colors are the same. I used 3 distress inks for the sky, and you can see the lids of the inks in the upper right corner while I apply the inks. I start with faded jeans and I used that as my base color. Then I used chipped sapphire for the most darkest part of the sky. To get the look of an earth under the moon, I used peacock feathers and I blended it with faded jeans. After applying the distress inks, I used my heat gun to make sure that the panel is totally dry and the inks wouldn't blend after this. For the halo around the moon, I used Brilliance Moonlight White ink. I used the mini ink blending tool, but this time I didn't use circular blending motions. As normally, I simply tapped the tool up and down. I started in the center of the moon and worked my way to the more further away from the moon. I'll keep adding the ink as long as I achieve the look that I want. I just mentioned a side note here. My ink pad is quite old and dry, so if you have a newer one, you might need to tap it off more times than I do. And this is how it looks when I remove the mask. I stamped the sentiment with black pigment ink from Fresh Freesia set to bottom right corner. Then I used my Stamp-O-Magic stamp positioning tool to help me to get the butterflies to a place that I wanted them to go. I used black pigment ink to stamp them since I stamped them on a heat embossed area. I thought the pigment ink would work better, but it didn't ink perfectly, so I took my Copic multiliner and corrected the parts that were unevenly stamped. Next, I used Simon Says Stamp Smoke ink and Altenew Jet Black ink to stamp my bigger butterfly and fuzzy cut it off screen. I colored the center part of the butterfly with black marker and went over the edges to get more finished look. Next, I used Stamp-O-Magic tool again to help me line up the bigger butterfly exactly there where I wanted to go, and I stamped it with Altenew Jet Black ink. I use a strong adhesive to adhere the panel to black fun foam panel, and then I adhere the panel to my card front. Then I adhere the bigger butterfly with a liquid glue to my card. As a final touch, I added stars to the sky with Silver Irresistible. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video and found it helpful. I list all the products that I used in my blog, and the link will be at the description below. Please visit Altenew blog for more inspiration. Thank you very much for your time. See you soon. Bye!